The Western Conference has been the class of the USL Championship over the East to begin this season, and these two teams have been among the class of the West. It's the Oakland Roots welcoming El Paso Locomotive to the Coliseum here in Oakland. Happy to have you with us on ESPN Plus alongside Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Ricky, take a peek at the standings here. At the end of the night, pending other results, both these teams with a win could be in first place.
And both of these teams coming off of 2-2 draws last time out, so an opportunity to continue to push up the Western Conference. For the Oakland Roots, you're playing at home. You wanted to make this place, continue to make it a fortress. And for El Paso Locomotive, a team that has had success on the road, sets up for a really intriguing matchup.
Player to watch this evening brought to you by UCSF Health as Wolfgang Prentice, the reigning player of the month in USL Championship.
Wolfgang Prentice continues to impress every single time he steps on the field for Ryan Martin. His decision-making and his timing and his ability to read the game is what really stood out, understanding when to be selfish to go on himself, when to bring in his teammates. But one thing that is for certain for Wolfgang Prentice, when he is in that final third within his work rate, you're going to get quality and you're going to get composure. Look for him to put pressure on Locomotive's back line.
Tied for the team-leading goals with reigning Golden Boot winner in Peter Wilson. On the other side for El Paso, it's been a tale of the first few games and the last few games so far this season.
El Paso Locomotive is a team that's looking for consistency within their performances, consistency within the lineup. They have to dealt with a little bit of injuries, so Junior Gonzalez had to fluctuate and change a little things going into that lineup. But you look at this team, there's one thing that is very constant, is they have a lot of star power and they have a lot of talent. You look at Rubio Rubin, you look at Armando Moreno, two players that can create a little bit of individual brilliance. Rubio Rubin, he's going to stay as high as he possibly can to occupy the center backs. He's a really good finisher. And Moreno, his ability to pop in between lines, to combine, can cause some issues for the Oakland Roots.
Yeah, 10 combined goals between those two players. The Roots could have their hands full here this evening. Let's see if this one's a little more entertaining than last year's bout at the Coliseum between these two teams, which ended as a whopping 0-0 draw. Something tells me, though, the way these teams have been playing this season, to expect something different. It's the Oakland Roots and El Paso Locomotive next on ESPN Plus.
Sana, sana.
Sana, sana, colita de rana.
Sana, sana, colita de rana. Si no sanas hoy,
Sanará mañana.
Learn about low to no-cost health insurance with Anthem Blue Cross, so you and your family can sana sana.
A lot of people don't know this about UCSF, but we have more female sports doctors than anywhere else in the country.
Our Women's Sports Medicine Center is the first clinic in the Bay Area to focus on female patients. We would reconstruct the ACL. Our bodies are different. Our injuries are different.
We are constantly staying up to date on the latest science.
And we're all athletes ourselves, so we understand what their goals are.
We love to help athletes get back to doing what they love.
UCSF Health.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. You might not be related, but you're still family. You don't just give an extra hand. You give your whole heart and a whole lot of muscle. Because it feels good to raise up the community that raised you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross. Player warm-ups this evening are brought to you by UCSF Health. Danny Trejo warming up for the Roots. Will not be part of the starting 11 this evening. Could see him later on. And let's meet those starting 11s, beginning with the homestanding Oakland Roots, brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross.
Tommy McCabe Miarohongo need to do a really good job at sitting right in front of that back line and dictating tempo and doing that. But Tosh, will play in between lines, the ability to find that final ball and release Jacqueline and Wolfgang Prentice, Peter Wilson leading the line. So service into that front three is going to be crucial for Ryan Martin and the Oakland Roots, especially early on in this match.
On the other side, Junior Gonzalez, El Paso Locomotive, they have their heavy hitters up top, Rubio Rubin, Amando Moreno, but the midfield powers this team between Mendez and Calvillo.
Now you're looking at Mendez, Calvillo, Coronado, and Moreno. The ability to fluctuate in between rotations. Mendez will provide the width. Calvillo will drop a little bit deeper. And we talked about Moreno, the ability to play in between lines. Gabby Torres will give you work rate on the width from his left foot, providing service to Rubio Rubin, who is such a good finisher and one of, if not the most complete forward in all of USL Championship.
It's the Oakland Roots in their black from left to right. El Paso Locomotive in their white and blue from right to left. Referee this evening, Thomas Snyder, in the green, just waiting for him to send us on our way. The Oakland Roots with one defeat on their ledger this season. El Paso with two. They've both been tough teams to beat. They've both at different times looked like they could be the best team or in the conversation for the best team in the Western Conference. And tonight they do battle at the Coliseum, underway from Oakland. Alongside Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Happy to have you with us on ESPN+.
A little bit of a skill check to start the game from Batosh.
That and a copycat. You look around the world, PSG sort of started it, this new trend of just taking the kickoff and lumping it down, getting your press forward. Can't say it quite worked out this time with El Paso in control across midfield already, but we're seeing it around the world.
Yeah, but Batosh lifts it up to himself and just punts it in the air. Impressive.
AAPI Heritage Night this evening at the Coliseum. Crowd is raucous for it, hoping the Roots can supply a victory as well, but Moreno puts a dangerous early ball in. It's a potent El Paso attack. Injuries, as you touched on in the open, have set them back a little bit, but they're healthy, they're active. Moreno on the volley, it sneaks in, but the offside flag is up. Here's your first look at how quickly they can do damage.
Just have such a good sense of combination play. El Paso Locomotive, the ability to play into Rubin, and then you have Moreno underneath him. Really quick release of the shot from Moreno, but a little bit off in terms of the timing. A good start for the visiting side here, 2 minutes in.
Rubio Rubin coming over from the Charleston Battery. One of the biggest moves of the offseason around USL Championship. 6 goals already, came into the weekend, tied for the Golden Boot lead, but after Corey Bennett scored last night for Colorado Springs, he dipped into second, Rubio Rubin. Over a dozen goals, 40 caps for Guatemala, was the star of the Gold Cup last year. Could be something on now again. Moreno drops it back. Calvillo. This is an El Paso team that has stayed on the road. They faced New Mexico in the midweek, a 2-2 draw. Spent the extra day off at Albuquerque, some team bonding. They went bowling and then took the trip out here to Oakland. Early good start for El Paso. In front, it's Rubin! Quick start for the visitors! 7 on the season for Rubio Rubin.
Phenomenal team goal from El Paso Locomotive. And it starts with Moreno, the ability to let this ball just come across his body, and that unlocks the weak side. As you play centrally, you allow this run from Quezada, and I love this first-time ball. You put it into the path of your number 9, and Rubio Rubin doing a phenomenal job of getting goal side of Edwards here. Gets the right body position, and it's a really good finish. 1-0, El Paso Locomotive, 3 minutes in.
Goal scored in the 3rd minute.
I brought up the staying on the road and the bowling and all that for a reason for El Paso. Rick, you've been a part of teams like this, an early season road trip. What can that do for the chemistry of a team? You just saw all 10 players out there come together to celebrate in unison. What can a trip like this early season do to bring a team together?
It creates community, it creates comfortability and confidence in one another. And most importantly, you can tell already in the early parts of the season that this team really likes each other, right? They're going to fight for one another. They're going to cover one another, and they have that responsibility and accountability within the locker room. So 5 minutes in, and you just see it's been all one-way traffic here at the Coliseum, which a lot of teams struggle to do against this Oakland Root side.
I was part of the conversation with Junior Gonzalez as well. Deciding to take this job at El Paso, he said very quickly because of the people, he knew it was the right fit and the right place for him. He also did say that the players were all chipping in $5 for that bowling trip I mentioned, putting it in the pot, and that I asked him, are you playing for it too? He said, heck yeah, I want a piece of that. I don't know who won. We had this conversation before the bowling outing, so I'm hoping for our sake in the future pleasantries with Junior Gonzalez that Coach won the bowling tournament.
You're a good bowler or no?
I am not a great bowler.
Add that to the list of things, right?
Well, you put bumpers up, it's a different story now. It's a different story. Batash. Five minutes in, Ryan Martin and the Oakland Roots searching for answers. They've been resilient this season. They went down in the opening minutes on the road against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Actually trailed twice in that game, and they ended up tying it 2-2 on the road. One of the two teams that took any points off of Tampa Bay so far this season. Unbeaten still, only 2 ties to go with their 6 wins. The Roots went on the road to get one of those, so have to respond here. Conceded just as early in this one as that one. Another try here from distance, gobbled up by Spiegel.
The Roots need to do a better job at keeping this game on one side of the field. You cannot allow Moreno to pick up his head, let Quezada come around the corner, and just give him an outlet. Understanding that if you want a team that wants to squeeze the game, keeping it and making it predictable is really important for your success defensively.
It all happened so quickly for El Paso. We haven't really even had a chance to address it, how beaten up the Roots are on the back line. Starting to slowly get some bodies back or close to being back. Navel Hackshaw having to make his 3rd start of the season now for the Roots. Anchoring the back line alongside Michael Edwards. David Garcia, the guy they were hoping would be that guy. Injured at the moment. He's missing. Julian Bravo missing, injured, but getting close. Mark Fisher starting right back to begin the season, missing but close. They just got Keegan Tingey back from injury, which is a help. It'll be a good competition between Tingey and Fisher when Fisher's healthy. Jesus De Vicente wasn't your starting left back to begin the season. He is now because of that injury to Bravo. So a lot of moving pieces back there. On a night like tonight, going up against Rubin and Moreno, difficult task. But now the other way, it's Peter Wilson, who's offside.
So understanding that there is a lot of movement within the Locomotive attacking phase of play, so you need to rely heavily on your communication between Edwards and Hackshaw, passing players off, because the last thing that you want to have happen is players getting drawn out of position, overlapping each other, and leaving gaps between within your defensive line.
Alfaro. Javi Torres. Back again. Alfaro all the way so for Abraham Romero. A goalkeeper that Junior Gonzalez had with Los Dos, LA Galaxy 2 back in his time coaching them. Brings him back here. Good ball there, but rescued along the far sideline for a moment. But Bosi Barahanga wins it back for the Roots. Batash. Sluggish starts maybe becoming a theme for the Roots. Now they battle back tonight. The live standings in the Western Conference, El Paso currently sit in first. Mentioned top of the broadcast that these two teams with a win would be able to sit atop the standings at the end of the night, depending on the result in the San Antonio-Phoenix match. And the way that's going right now, it is El Paso in first in the West. Feels early to be talking standings, but I feel like we blinked and most teams, or at least some teams, are hitting the 10-game mark, and that's significant in a 30-game season. A number of teams already this weekend, a third of the way through. 2 months in to a season that began the weekend of March 7th. Gabi Torres. This is what El Paso can do. They can possess, they can play direct, they can really morph as the game dictates, as the opponent dictates. They have the quality for it, they have the athleticism for it. That's why they've been one of the best teams in the league to begin this season.
Which makes them a nightmare to prepare for, because they are good enough that they can play through the lines within their combination, but they also recognize that if teams are going to step high, no problem just dumping the ball into Rubin Moreno, allowing them to run into it. So if you are the Oakland Roots, it's going to be really important that you get your set defensively right, and in doing anything, you stay compact. Good ball there.
Batash picks his head up. Prentice starts his run. He's back instead at the feet of Batash. Quietly been one of the best players this season, Faisal Batash for the Oakland Roots. A goal and 2 assists, covers so much ground in the midfield. And a lot of the times he's making the pass to the pass as well. Here's Tingy. Early ball, tried it off the midsection, off of Gabi Torres.
And those are the areas that you need to operate in. If you are the Oakland Roots, you pull Coronado out of his position. You have a pocket presence. This time it's Wolfgang Prentice doing a good job at turning and running at this back line.
Yarahanga tracks it down. Edwards has to go back. Left it short. Rubin's there attacking. Deflected. Out for a goal kick.
Shaky here from Edwards. Not enough weight on this ball. Talk about Rubio Rubin always wanting to be opportunistic, leaving his feet. Could have very easily been the second for the Locomotive.
Jacquesin scored his first goal in a Roots jersey last week. Bertrand Jacquesin. Prentice chasing. Hackshaw. Heavy touch, lost it. Moreno calling for it. Rubin's there as well. Scorched through Yarahanga, but Hackshaw's there. And he gives it right back again. Milestone night for Navel Hackshaw. His 250th appearance in USL Championship. Has not quite covered himself in glory yet this evening. Through for Peter Wilson. The flag comes up. He wags the finger as he looks back with a smile.
I'll tell you what, that is really close, because if you start your run in your own half, you cannot be offsides. Peter Wilson doing a good job at splitting the center backs.
Moreno. Chasing in behind Prentice. Quesada. Prentice is there, shielding, and it'll be a free kick for the Roots. take you back here. You be the judge. We froze it for you. Oh, that is so tight.
I think he's on.
I think I'm with you.
Yeah, watch the right leg of Alfaro keeps him on. And again, if you start this run inside your own half, there's no way that you can be caught offside.
See, I don't think it does apply there, because I think by the time the ball was played and we froze it for you there for a reason, I think he's already leaning across midfield. But still, the right foot keeps him onside. I'm with you. He's onside for that reason. So, moment
Good ball.
gone for the Roots, but maybe another moment brewing here. Prentice gets there.
If you're El Paso, you need to be really careful that you do not get caught extremely high. That's the second time that the Roots have found success just dumping this ball into a lot of green grass, allowing their front three to run onto.
Villarahanga headed clear by Ortiz. I do want to give the assistant referee, Bavik Dutt, a break, though. To the naked eye, there is no way you can make that call with 100% certainty. I mean that as a positive for him. You can't get on his case for missing that by maybe a centimeter, where if there was not just VAR, but the automated technology, we're talking he might have been on or offside just because of the size of the shoe in that moment. So you cannot get on Bavik Dutt's case. That was too close to call.
Good time to mention as well, obviously no VAR here in USL Championship.
Batash, a little bit of a grab there. Peter Wilson. Nothing that would rise to a penalty. Solfam, the 2026 Oakland Soul jerseys are here. Not seen, felt. Form and spirit built from within. The town wears this one. Shop now at shop.oaklandrootssc.com. Junior Gonzalez has to be happy with what he's seeing so far. El Paso Locomotive, his first year in charge, formerly of LAFC 2 and MLS Next Pro. Prior to that time in USL Championship with LA Galaxy 2. Well-traveled coach, well-respected coach among his peers in this league as well. A lot of these pieces were already in place last year and in prior years for El Paso. A good core still intact. You drop in a couple of pieces like Rubio Rubin, Alex Mendez, and Junior Gonzalez's pedigree. Helps further you in the right direction. In the attack for the Roots. No shots registered, 2 shots, 2 on target for El Paso. And the opening goal 3 minutes in, courtesy of Rubio Rubin. Back in the Golden Boot lead in USL Championship. Here's Jacqueson the other way. Swept away by Alfaro. I should say tied for the Golden Boot lead again, Rubio Rubin with Corey Bennett, who scored his 7th last night for the Switchbacks. Elsewhere, New Mexico is up 2-1 on Las Vegas. Usman Jabang just gave New Mexico the lead at the hour mark. Here's Wolfgang Prentice tripped up. This could be a red if the referee deems a foul. He called the foul. What color is the card? It is red, and that changes everything. Arturo Ortiz heads for an early shower.
It's a good ball from Hackschall as Wolfgang Prentice gets the right position of Ortiz.
Did he even touch him?
Yeah, difficult to tell. It just seems, at least initially, that Wolfgang Prentice clips his own.
Fans, your attention, please. The official has indicated a red card to El Paso Locomotive.
Obviously, we have the luxury of replay, but
does he step on the heel of Wolfgang Prentice with that stride right there?
I would say
his knee.
I would say
knee
the
right
knee,
there. He does clip him. Yep.
The right knee catches the left foot of Wolfgang Prentice, which then brings him down. It's a right call from Thomas Schneider. Denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Last defender deserving of a red as El Paso Locomotive.
And there wasn't necessarily any intent from Ortiz. He's at full stride trying to get there on Prentice, but as that heel comes up, it clips the knee, sends him off balance, clipping the heels, and now the Roots down a goal, go up a man, and they could further the damage to El Paso here on the free kick. Bertrand Jacquesin standing over it, as is Keegan Tingy. Pardon me, Jesus De Vicente there. It's De Vicente into the wall.
But how good of a ball was that from Hackshaw? Again, mentioned it earlier that the high line of El Paso Locomotive, you're playing with fire, with knowing how explosive and how direct Peter Wilson, Wolfgang Prentice can be. No pressure on the ball, you need to drop. Defenders get caught.
Well, the good thing, if there's a silver lining right now for El Paso, it's not really a good thing, but it is a silver lining. They're kind of used to this. They have had to play down a man with some regularity this season. A couple of weeks ago, they did lose 4-1 at home against FC Tulsa. They were down a man from the 11th minute onwards. Earlier this season on the road against Sacramento, they went down a man in the 55th minute and held on to win that game 2-1. They went down a man in Open Cup against the Houston Dynamo as well in the 25th minute. So went the rest of the game there down a man. So you're sensing a theme. They have had to do this quite a bit. It's not a good thing, but they are used to it at least.
Does seem like they have shifted into almost a 4-2-3 formation. You have Calvillo Coronado sitting in between that midfield line, the front three of Mendez, Rubin, Moreno. As Quezada would drop back and be the right back.
Settled by De Vicente. Here's Batash. Keeps it in play. Faisal Batash cut off by Quesada. Shielded out. It's a foul anyway against Batash. Turn to the CBS Sports Network May 16th for a round 2 Brinks Tires USL Cup Group 6 matchup. Richmond Kickers host the Charleston Battery at 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, May 16th. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network. And Roots fans, you could catch the Roots back at the Coliseum for Hometown Heroes Night on Saturday, May 16th at 5 p.m. against Sacramento Republic, presented by Falk. Single game tickets are still available. Visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144. So a week from today in Brinks Cup. So the Roots get the extra matchup this season against Sacramento Republic. The NorCal Derby, beyond just the 2 regular season meetings, the home and home. Get him in Brinks as well. It's become very quickly one of the best rivalries in USL Championship. Will the Roots be going into that Brinks matchup next week on the high of a comeback win after going up a man? Or will El Paso find a way to hold on the rest of this one? Tingy. Jacquesin. Might be a lot of this from El Paso. Just get out of harm's way when you can. And it's a long way to go.
Going to be really important now for the Oakland Roots to move the ball really quickly. Yes, you're going to have a lot of time and space just like this on the ball, but you cannot let that creep in and let complacency start to settle in. 1-2 touch, keep the game moving at a really high space.
De Vicente whips one in, comes all the way through. Jacquesin, a heavy touch, blasted across. Wilson was close. It looked like it deflected, but referee says goal kick.
Good ball in from De Vicente, the left back. But as this ball comes in, Jacquesin needs to hit this first time. That first touch sends him a little bit too wide, and it does take a wicked deflection off the inside of the thigh of Chumesi. But as this ball comes across, you need to make clean contact and hit it first time, not allowing that defensive line to get set for El Paso Locomotive.
Peter Wilson was again lurking there for the Roots. He had that moment earlier where he was nearly free on the breakaway, was offside. Here he is again chasing Wilson. Peter Wilson, well defended by Chumesi. Start of the season slow, Peter Wilson. First few games really good as a decoy. Prentice drops it back for Batash, too far out in front. And then after that, Peter Wilson went on international duty, so missed some time with the group. Comes back in, gets his hat trick against Las Vegas, and then scores last game in stoppage time against Loudon on the road to preserve a point for the Roots. Moreno. 4 goals in 5 games for Peter Wilson. Up a man. Roots will have to find him often. Make the most of the advantage. Meanwhile, El Paso trying to double their advantage. Could breathe a bit easier, even down a man if you're up by 2. Coronado. Biarahanga sending it long. Jacquesin had to come off his shin. Good tackle from Tiggy. Gabby Torres. Rubio Rubin, a nice move. Tries from midfield, it's Rubin.
Good idea. Audacious from Rubin to pick up his head, see Spiegel off of his line. Doesn't hit as cleanly as he would like. We have to applaud the effort.
Tingy. It might take something like that for El Paso to find an extra insurance goal. Down a man for as long as they're going to have to be down a man tonight. Barring the Roots doing something silly to even the advantage. It's interesting that El Paso didn't make a sub after the red card. Not always the case necessarily, but this was flipped out wide for De Vicente. When a center back is the one who gets the red card, oftentimes you'll see another center back sub in. Hackshaw has it blocked. But with the personnel they have out there, you can slide other people into other positions and still cover that area without having to burn a sub window in this first half. Get to halftime and then reassess any changes for Junior Gonzalez.
Well, also the way that they started out this game in a 3-back, right? So you allow Alfaro, Ortiz, and Chumesi to be that 3-back, but now they shifted into 4 across the back. So you drop in Quezada and Gabby Torres, and then you have Chumesi and Alfaro, the 2 center backs in their more natural positions as well. Coronado Calvillo sitting right in front of them, so you have a double pivot to provide a little bit of coverage as well.
Moreno. Cutting in. Goes down a bit too easily. Prentice. Good foot put in defensively by Chumesi. Jacquesin. Trying to create some space, gives it away instead. Moreno Rubin could have numbers here. It's a 4v4, even despite the man down. Fed through, Torres in front. Oh, it's a great intervention from Hackshaw at the back post, a wide open streaker. How can you allow a 4-on-4 when you're up a man if you're the Roots in a moment like that?
And how can you not capitalize on it? If you are Gabby Torres, you need to elude that initial line of pressure because you have a 2v1 at that back post.
Prentice looking for Wilson. Almost dropped it in the bucket. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Just given the sheer attacking talent, El Paso are going to have opportunities, even though they're down a man. Just a question of can they capitalize on one? And can you capitalize on one before Oakland gets one? That's the thing. If down a man you concede and it's 1-1, I feel like inherently you sit back and just hope and pray for the draw. But if you get a second before Oakland gets one, that's a much different story.
It's going to be important as well. Talk about complacency for the Oakland Roots in possession, but out of possession as well. You cannot allow exactly what happened moments ago to happen again. You always want to have a +1 within your defensive set, meaning have a numerical advantage in case of a sloppy giveaway. Because Rubin and Moreno are just too good. If you give them the time and space, they'll make you pay.
McCabe. Keegan Tingy. Wasn't the cleanest ball ahead for Jacqueline. It came off his sole, but it got there. McCabe. Well, Hackshaw flaring it wide. Jesus De Vicente blocked. De Vicente really coming into his own for the Roots. Was one of my favorite players to watch last year in college at Virginia. Plays with an attitude and a flair. Had 7 assists last season. If you have 5 minutes after this game, Google the assist he had against Wake Forest and the celebration he had after it. That is a man you want on your team and hate to play against. McCabe. De Vicente, just beyond his reach.
If you're Batash, you do not need to be that wide. You need to stay centrally. That is when you are at your best. You can find that final ball. A little bit of frustration maybe starting to set in for Batash, trying to search the game.
For more information, including season tickets starting at just $100, visit OaklandSoulSC.com.
Tingy recovers. Alfaro gives it away. Jacqueline thought about it. It was a bit off balance. Tingy. Can El Paso just limp to halftime and then make the necessary changes? Biarahanga. You also wonder what changes the Roots might have up their sleeve if it's still 1-0 El Paso at halftime. Prentice. Hackshaw. Ryan Martin has options if he wants to throw complete caution to the wind. Danny Trejo, Florian Velo, Jackson Keel. Will he be as aggressive as to take someone like Biarahanga or McCabe off for an extra attacker? Jacqueson's offside. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. They also have an option on the bench in Tucker Lepley, who just came in on loan this week from the Los Angeles Galaxy. A very creative number 10. Someone that could sit underneath and pull the strings, up a man chasing a goal. All things for Ryan Martin to consider. Has shown this year and even in his past, of course, at Loudoun to be a terrific in-game manager. The changes he makes on the fly. A couple of games that stick out this season. He made a change after 10 minutes against New Mexico, used the Ramadan fast break to his advantage. And then earlier this season also had a natural break for a hydration break in the first half. Roots came out of that totally different. Really good on the fly, making adjustments. What can you tweak up a man? Tingy's ball all the way through to Romero. In some ways it is a shame, the red card. Coming into the night, you and I were excited to see these two teams and their styles go at it, and the first 10 minutes were frantic. Think of all we saw in those first 10 minutes. El Paso had a goal negated by an offside that was very close. Then they score their opening goal. The Roots had that moment for Peter Wilson where he was just barely offside. End-to-end action. Then the Prentice moment in the red card. All that was inside of 10 minutes, and it was what we expected, the track meet and high-scoring affair that we thought we would see between these teams. The red card actually took some of the juice out of the game because it's all been one way now with the Roots standing on the ball in control.
Yeah, it definitely kills the momentum of the game, but it's an opportunity for Ryan Martin and Junior Gonzalez to learn a lot about their side. You talked about Junior Gonzalez feeling comfortable with playing at a man disadvantage, so this team has shown their ability to dig down deep, work hard together, be difficult to break through. But for Ryan Martin, an opportunity to see how do we use this advantage and what things can we continue to grow upon when we do have a lot of the possession of the ball. So really important, 10+ remaining here in this first half for the Oakland Roots to try to draw this game 1-1.
First Ava Community Energy corner of the evening for the Roots.
Roots fans, this corner kick is powered by Ava Community Energy. Clean power, lower rates, brighter communities.
De Vicente from the corner. Oh, Hackshaw was lurking. Romero snatches it. Hackshaw committed the foul on Romero. Final third entries to this point are 46-20 in the Roots' favor. It's staggering, and that is only going to continue to climb with El Paso having to sit back down a man. Abraham Romero, 4 starts this season. They've gone back and forth in goal. And it's been split down the middle in terms of the overall doling out of the starts. 4 starts each among the 2 goalkeepers. Sebastian Moramora, the other keeper for El Paso. This is going to be a test of the will of El Paso. The acumen of Junior Gonzalez trying to find any marginal advantages tactically anywhere you can, at any moment you can. Have to go this long down a man. Romero good to go. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Hackshaw. Just because you're up a man doesn't necessarily mean it's easy for a team. Spaces get a lot tighter with everybody sitting back for El Paso. It's up to the Roots to find an avenue through.
That's why tempo becomes that much more important. Try to use the advantage to your advantage, right? Try to pull apart this line, this 2 banks of 4 that we see towards the right side of your screen. Spacing becomes that much more important, and the movement ahead of the ball, opening up space for one of your teammates, up, back, and through patterns of play, everything that you work on within the week of training. This is just far too slow and far too comfortable for El Paso Locomotive right now. But also in saying that, you have to have a little bit of patience, understanding that you do not need to hit the home run ball immediately, right? Pick and choose your times when to penetrate through the lines.
You could argue their best chances actually came in the first 10 minutes when they were 11v11 because of the space in behind and being able to exploit that space, but there isn't any space anymore. And El Paso trying to slow this game down to a crawl as well, rightfully so. Wilson might have been offside, didn't matter. Romero comes out to clear. Roots still don't have a shot on target, just 3 shots. We get to test Abraham Romero. Hackshaw. In behind, over the head of Prentice. Balloon toward goal, Romero retreating, has it. Well, Hackshaw picks it up. Game is really slowed to a crawl, and it's all been played at this end after the red card. Well defended by Quesada, deflected by Prentice and De Vicente. Here's Batash. McCabe lines it up from distance. Expect things to change, I think, in the second half from Ryan Martin, whether it's personnel or tactics. Has to be quicker, to your point, from the Roots. Tingy, McCabe. Oakland has completed 310 passes to 150 of El Paso. Possession is nearly 70-30, and that is only going to continue to climb. Moreno through. Good idea, good ball. Just a little bit too much on it.
Phenomenal idea from Moreno to slow himself down, allow Rubin to come around the corner of the blind side, just a little bit heavy. on the ball in. But those are those transitional moments that El Paso can really hurt the Oakland Roots.
Wilson brought down. Rubin just beyond his reach. Hackshaw picks it back up and reignites the attack. Biarahunga, Batash. Fed through by Prentice and right back his way by Chumesi. Told there'll be 5 additional minutes in this first half. Maybe that confirmation from the 4th official momentarily. And there is that confirmation. 5 minutes of stoppage. Prentice through. Jockerson was there.
Really well done in terms of the positioning from Alfaro. As Chumesi gets pulled out of position, he just needs a shade across and get himself centralized, cutting out this cutback ball from Wolfgang Prentice. Two center backs have done a good job through this first 45 minutes here at staying compact and staying organized for the Locomotive.
De Vicente delivering. Oh, Peter Wilson was right there. Just fell awkwardly in a manner in which he couldn't hit it. Feels like he's going to be very active in half number 2, Peter Wilson. Ricky, if you're Ryan Martin and you're going to make a personnel change at halftime, who would you like to see inserted into a game like this with the man advantage?
Well, number one, you do not need a double pivot right now. You do not need Biarahunga and Tommy McKay playing that deep. So you have to take one of those off, and you have to bring in a player like a Florian Velo that can give you that pocket presence to draw out one of these two players. You look at a player like Danny Trejo as well that could stretch the game and has a lot of movement. Those are the two players that jump off the page right now for Ryan Martin, and won't be surprised if we see them start the second half.
McKay from a long way out. It's the 6th shot for the Roots, none of which have been on target. Something to ignite the non-supporters section of the crowd. The supporters are always going to be into it, banging the drums, you know that. The rest of the crowd has gone a bit quiet as this game has got a bit stale, given the circumstances. Hackshaw. Batash. Held up. And the foul called. Batash. Delivering, cleared by Alfaro. Tingy. Jockerson took a deflection on the service. Hackshaw circulates it wide. De Vicente in front. Peter Wilson finds a way! His 5th of the season, and the Roots draw level.
Seeing a lot of the ball, the tempo was always going to be really important, and the width. Really good ball in. But this is all about Peter Wilson, number 1, getting on the right side of Alfaro, and then the acrobatics and the athleticism. Not the best of first touches, but as this ball pops out, just to come across his right shoulder and snipe down on the ball. Great goal for Peter Wilson, a striker's goal in that.
We learned last year with his incredible stretch run and route to the Golden Boot that they come in bunches for Peter Wilson. When he's on, and right now, he's on. Moreno. Back on April the 22nd. In that game against Vegas, that's when he broke out with the hat trick. Last game against Loudoun, he scored in stoppage time to tie it. Scores tonight. It's 3 straight games with a goal for Peter Wilson, 5 total. And we go to the break, 1-1 with the Roots up a man going in half number 2.
It changes the halftime talk specifically for Ryan Martin, understanding that now the momentum is on your side. Do you still bring in a Danny Trejo? Do you still bring in a player like Florian Velo? Because you are going to see a lot of the ball in the second 45 minutes. And for Junior Gonzalez, it's all about compactness. How good can you be defensively at getting all your 10 players behind the ball and making life difficult?
And they were great for about a half hour in doing just that defensively, but one crack in the foundation, Peter Wilson makes them pay, and it's 1-1 at the break. 2 teams that coming into the night with a win could have gone into first place. It's hanging in the balance between Oakland and El Paso. More to come on ESPN+.
Sana, sana. Sana, sana, colita de rana.
Sana, sana, colita de rana. Si no sanas hoy,
sanará mañana.
Infórmese sobre un seguro médico de bajo costo o sin costo con Anthem Blue Cross. Así usted y su familia pueden sana.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It doesn't just have great bones. It was the backbone of your community. So you breathe in new life, grinding away to make space for tomorrow, for your people. This isn't just a restoration. It's a revival. Because you're always willing to double down on your neighborhood. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
A lot of people don't know this about UCSF, but we have more female sports doctors than anywhere else in the country.
Our Women's Sports Medicine Center is the first clinic in the Bay Area to focus on female patients. We would reconstruct the ACL. Our bodies are different. Our injuries are different.
We are constantly staying up to date on the latest science.
And we're all athletes ourselves, so we understand what their goals are.
We love to help athletes get back to doing what they love.
UCSF Health.
1-1 at the break between Oakland and El Paso. The supporters had something to cheer about late in half number 1 for the Roots. And as part of USL's The Experience, we're getting to know a bit about some supporters groups from around the country. Let's take a peek at the supporters of Athletic Club Boise in an episode that just dropped today on youtube.com/USL.
I think Idahoans have been clamoring for something that is theirs.
Feel a big sense of responsibility to do this right. You only get one first season.
For me, without soccer, it's like there's no air. Having it here, I feel like I can breathe again. Boise's never had anything like this.
With the field for World Cup 2026 now set, the USL can enjoy its place in the countdown to history. Never before has an active USL player taken part in a World Cup. until now. For the past 2.5 years, more than 30 players from USL Championship and League One battled through World Cup qualifying. This summer, 6 of them have a chance to hit the field for their respective country. Miami FC teammates Eloy Rom and Jurgen Locomotive made history, helping Curacao qualify for the World Cup for the first time ever. Curacao will face Germany, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador in group play. And for the first time since 1974, Haiti will take part in the World Cup, following a very unique road through qualifying. 4 championship players, Duke Lacroix and Garvin Matusala of Colorado Springs, Delence Pierre from FC Tulsa, and Carl Sente from New Mexico United, led Haiti through qualifying without playing a home match. Now the Haitian team faces a tough group at the World Cup with matches against Brazil, Morocco, and Scotland. But while World Cup qualifying owned the spotlight in late March, several USL players took part on U.S. youth national teams, also on the world stage. Colton Swan of Charleston Battery scored a goal for the U.S. under-20 team against Argentina in Argentina. Orange County SC's Tyson Espy played for the under-17 team in Paraguay. And the U.S. under-18 team played in Portugal, featuring Ramiz Hamuda from Birmingham Legion, Brandon Days of Louisville City, and Jameer Johnson from Orange County SC.
This week on USL All Access, we'll discuss U.S. Open Cup results, World Championship teams stand at the three-quarter pole.
Alex Grinaldi puts SAFC ahead.
But most importantly, the agreement reached between USLPA and USL HQ on the collective bargaining agreement.
You'll see it SiriusXM FC or the USL YouTube page every Tuesday night.
Sana, sana. Sana, sana, colita de rana.
Sana, sana, colita de rana. Si no sanas hoy,
sanará mañana.
Learn about low to no-cost health insurance with Anthem Blue Cross, so you and your family can sana sana.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. You put on the biggest event of the year every single weekend, surviving the strongest storms, meeting chaos with composure. You roll up your sleeves to roll out the red carpet, because the end of the night for you is the beginning of the rest of their lives. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines from the championship. Last week we learned a lesson: never leave a match early if the outcome is in doubt. 3 matches were decided in added time, beginning with Colorado Springs grabbing a 3-3 draw with San Antonio in the 100th minute. Peter Wilson headed home the game-tying goal for Oakland Roots in a 2-2 draw with Loudoun United. And Michel Benitez cleaned up a saved penalty kick in added time to lead Sacramento Republic to a 3-2 win over Orange County. Louisville City's run to the round of 16 in the U.S. Open Cup earned the club $50,000 in prize money for being the furthest advancing team from the USL Championship. Lou City won a regulation wins tiebreaker with Colorado Springs to get the prize. It's still early in the season, but a trend that's helping the top clubs winning at home. Entering Week 10, 7 clubs above the playoff line in their respective conferences are unbeaten at home, so far led by San Antonio in the West, Tampa Bay in the East. Upcoming national broadcasts, AC Boise and FC Naples next Wednesday on League One. Then it's Richmond Kickers and Charleston Battery in the USL Cup. Rhode Island hosts Brooklyn. All 3 matches are on the CBS Sports Network. Now the second half is getting closer. Let's get you back out to your match.
Take a look at scores from around the USL Championship so far. On a busy weekend, it started last night with Lexington picking up a big 3-1 win over Monterey Bay. 2-2 late drama between the Switchbacks and Orange County. The one that stood out today in the East was Pittsburgh, winning it 2-0 on the road over Louisville.
Yeah, fantastic result for Rob Vincent and company to go in to Lynn Family Stadium and give Louisville's second loss in a row. That hasn't happened since 2023.
Yeah, July.
So a little bit of concern for the boys in purple in the 11 takedown Sporting Jacks. And Loudon, they go into Brooklyn, take down Marlon LeBlanc and company. And after 2-2 draw against El Paso Locomotive, New Mexico take all the points against Devin Rensing and the Las Vegas Lights.
Red card impacting our game. Red card impacting Phoenix San Antonio. Phoenix are down a man and down a goal at halftime. So as that stands, it looks like San Antonio, if they hold on to the man and goal advantage, they'll end the night in first place in the Western Conference. Otherwise, one of these 2 teams could swoop in. Oakland 1, El Paso 1. Half number 2 is on the way.
Sana, sana. Sana, sana. Colita de rana.
Sana, sana. Colita de rana. Si no sanas hoy,
Sanará mañana.
Infórmese sobre un seguro médico de bajo costo o sin costo con Anthem Blue Cross. Así usted y su familia pueden sana.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
A lot of people don't know this about UCSF, but we have more female sports doctors than anywhere else in the country.
Our Women's Sports Medicine Center is the first clinic in the Bay Area to focus on female patients. We would reconstruct the ACL. Our bodies are different. Our injuries are different.
We are constantly staying up to date on the latest science.
And we're all athletes ourselves, so we understand what their goals are.
We love to help athletes get back to doing what they love.
UCSF Health.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross. 1-1 after 45 very eventful minutes between the Roots and El Paso. El Paso struck first, then a red card, then the Roots tied it. We'll walk you through it all as we look back at highlights from half number 1. And there was no time wasted in this game. The goal for El Paso came 3 minutes in, and they almost scored prior to that, if not for a very, very close offside.
That's a really good goal from El Paso Locomotive. It starts with Moreno letting this ball come across, which unlocks that weak side. Quezada from his right back position doing a good job at timing his run. Went to break the line, and Ruby Rubin getting on the right side of Michael Edwards. It's a really good team goal from El Paso Locomotive, and you see everyone celebrating in unison.
From there, things change with the red card. 18th minute, Wolfgang Prentice in behind, taken down.
But it's a good ball from Hackshaw to understand there is space in behind. Not intentional, but yet it's a foul from Ortiz. The right knee catches the left leg of Wolfgang Prentice, as we showed with the luxury of replay. Last man deniable goal scoring opportunity. He sees red. So El Paso Locomotive will be down to 10 players for the remainder of this game. And finally, Peter Wilson doing what Peter Wilson does. As this ball goes wide, much like Rubin scored his goal, he gets goal side of Alfaro and that a little bit of athleticism and acrobatics to push it by Romero.
5th of the season, all coming in the last 2.5 games for Peter Wilson. So it's 1-1 through 45 minutes. Stats, I mean, you really can't look at the stats tonight and talk about it without the red card, because after that, everything changed. Roots are not a 70% possession type of team, but that's how it's going to look the rest of the night.
Now you expect the Oakland Roots to see a lot of this ball, especially in this second half. Brian Martin will make a little bit of changes in terms of personnel. So now you have more numbers centrally, but for El Paso Locomotive in this second half, all about defensive efforts and compactness at trying to see this game out.
There will be a change right out of the gates from the Roots as they look to spark more. Playing up a man, Florian Velo replaces Bertrand Jacquesin as the Roots go right to left in the black, El Paso left to right in the white and blue. And we are underway in half number 2. Alongside Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us this evening. Big one in the Western Conference. 2 teams that coming into the night had a chance to climb into first when all was said and done with a win. That was also contingent on San Antonio not beating Phoenix. San Antonio, though, up 1-0 and up a man at halftime. So if that holds, neither of these teams can climb into first tonight, but they could be right there on the doorstep in a very tight, very wild, to just steer into the cliche, West. You mentioned after the red card for El Paso, they shifted into what looked like a 4-2-3 or a 4-3-2 at the time. Right now in a very defined 5-3-1. So you wonder if that's a change from Junior Gonzalez in this second half to just be even more defensive minded to try and get out of here with at least a tie. It's a long time to defend. Down a man.
And to be fair, there was opportunities in transitional chances for El Paso Locomotive just like this. You connect your first pass, you allow Rubin to be aggressive and expansive, and Moreno and Mendez. So if you are the Oakland Roots, keeping the ball will be obviously really important. Tempo and defensive transitional positioning are most important as well.
Junior Gonzalez just wanted to keep it himself there for a second. Flicked on, here's Moreno in behind Hackshaw. Moreno. Dangerous player, Armando Moreno. Works it back through, flag stays down. Opportunity still here toward Rubin, but Spiegel gets there.
Moreno's just a little bit cleaner. That is a golden opportunity because you have 2 options. Whether it is Rubin making that run down the center of this back line, or Mendez peeling off this blind side, an opportunity that goes wasted there for El Paso Locomotive.
Batash. Villarahanga. Ryan Martin hoping that Florian Velo can create a bit more than Bertrand Jacquesin. Different players by their profile. Jacquesin, more a player that's going to stretch the field, use his big frame. Velo is going to come inside and create more from that wide position. point you brought up late in that first half, Ricky, was Ryan Martin ditching the double pivot, ditching the 2 defensive midfielders and bringing on an extra attacking piece. Maybe he's saving that one in the chamber until around the hour mark. Wait and see if they can unlock it first through these means. Peter Wilson knocks it down. Batage. Jesus De Vicente did get credit for an assist, by the way, on the Peter Wilson goal. Wasn't sure if he was going to because of the deflection on the way in, but it was a minimal deflection, so he gets it, which makes 2 games in a row for Jesus De Vicente with an assist now. Back-to-back starts, back-to-back games with an assist. McCabe along for Tingy. Wilson starting the run. Tingy cuts it back. Hackshaw. The legs will start to get heavy for El Paso as well, chasing this much. De Vicente through the legs, brought down from behind. Dangerous challenge. Alex Mendez being asked to come over for a chat with our referee, Thomas Snyder.
I don't think Alex Mendez agrees with Thomas Schneider here. As this ball does come through. Difficult to tell from that angle.
He got him, but I think the question from the Root side is, well, where's the card? The argument from Mendez's side is that he got the ball. He might have clipped the ball, but he certainly came through the back leg as well. Some of the individual flair De Vicente brings off the dribble.
Yeah, but nonetheless, a really interesting location here for the Roots. As I have to think Florian Velo will be the one that provides the service here. You're looking for this ball to be struck head height towards that far post, especially with the traffic coming across the face of Romero. A nightmare in terms of the location for the goalkeeper here.
You brought off Bertrand Jacquesin for Florian Velo, so you bring in a good service provider for Velo, but Jacquesin is one of your better aerial threats. He's off the field now. And it'll be De Vicente with the outswinger. Velo on the volley, mishits it. Could be a transitional moment for El Paso. Moreno was in behind, but not enough time to pick up the head and send it long. Velo. Yarahanga. Started every game so far this season for the Roots, a mainstay. Yarahanga. Now it's Tingy. Here's Wilson! Saved by Romero. Wouldn't have mattered. Offside, Peter Wilson. Still a great save from Romero.
If you can provide service from a higher position, that does not allow El Paso Locomotive to drop deep and just eliminate that space between the goalkeeper and center backs. Phenomenal ball in from Tommy McCabe, just bending it across the face of that 6-yard box. That's Peter Wilson a little bit off in terms of his timing. But those are the types of movements that you want to see on a consistent basis if you are Ryan Martin.
In toward Prentice. Falls for him. Wolfgang Prentice knocked away. De Vicente closing ground. Feels like a second one isn't far off for the Roots. Creating the overloads, creating the moments. They've been up a man now for about 40 minutes. This, though, is a concern. Bobosi Biarahanga, I noticed it a few moments ago as he was lurching toward that ball along the far sideline. He was limping a bit. He just went down now on his own volition away from the play. In the grand scheme of things, it's not what you want to see, of course, for the Roots. He's been so vital to what they do in the midfield. On the micro level, for the immediacy of this game, it's not the worst thing because, as you were talking about, Ricky, he might have been the one you sacrificed anyway for an extra attacking option in the midfield. It looks like that change is going to happen. Just waiting for the confirmation from the sideline. And there is Biarahanga off. And it's going to be the club debut for Tucker Lepley on loan from the LA Galaxy. Creative player in the midfield, having seen him in his past, whether collegiately at UCLA or professionally with the Galaxy. He has that type of profile that should fit this league like a glove. And he could be really an X factor for the Roots. There he is, jumping it and almost winning it right away.
The ability to speak with Ryan Martin ahead of this match. And obviously, Lepley came up in conversation saying that he can play as a number 10. He can play wide. Very good in terms of his 1v1 ability and his mentality. It's a big opportunity for him to make an impact here.
Last year in 2025, it was mostly a lost season for the LA Galaxy, so it gave Greg Vanney a chance to play some of the younger players. He made 16 appearances, 6 starts, had an assist to his name. Played in more of a central role there last season. Back in the Galaxy's 2024 MLS Cup triumph, he played 3 games down the stretch and was rostered throughout the playoffs but didn't appear. Batash from a long way out. This is not his USL debut though, Tucker Lepley. It's just his Roots debut. Back in 2019, he came up through the Sporting Kansas City Academy and played for Sporting Kansas City 2 in USL Championship. Then Swope Park Rangers in 2019, played 10 games. So it's his return to the championship after 7 years. When I say after 7 years, though, it's not like he's an older player. Just turned 24 this January. Just burst onto the scene at a very young age. Moreno. Opportunities few and far between for El Paso in the attacking half. You have to capitalize. These rare instances. All the way back for Moreno. Good run up that left side from Calvillo. Almost snuck in behind. Flag did come up. The Roots are back at the Coliseum for Hometown Heroes Night on Saturday, May 16th at 5 p.m. against Sacramento Republic, presented by Falk. Single game tickets are still available. Visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144 to lock in your tickets today. That is in Brinks Cup next week for the Roots. Heavy challenge. Free kick coming. Card is yellow to Calvillo.
It's a little bit quicker here. Lepley, heavy touch. Calvillo thinks he can win it. Gets it out of the ball, gets all of Lepley, and again, another opportunity for the Roots to really test this back line of Romero and this El Paso Locomotive side.
Velo and De Vicente standing over it. Opted for De Vicente in the outswinger from the near side a moment ago. Do they like the outswinger and prefer that to the point that it'd be Velo this time? Or is it De Vicente again, this time with the in-swinger? Outswinger from Velo. Not the result they were looking for. Lepley drops it back. McCabe. Here's Batash. Wolfgang Prentice brought down. Play on. McCabe. Tingy stepping up on his preferred foot. Will he have a go? He will, but he slices through it.
Fans, last call for alcohol and concession sales. Alcohol sales will end in the 75th minute. Concession closes in the 80th minute. We're 15 and 20 minutes away, respectively, for the conclusion of alcohol and concession sales. Head to your nearest bar and concession stand to grab your final refreshments before they close. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's your last call.
Coronado lays it off. Hour gone, half hour remains. In a game that has been a lot of this training ground stuff from the Roots. Up a man since the 18th minute. Can they capitalize? Drew Wilson again. No, he tied it in first half stoppage time. Possession is 70-30. You take a step further. It's the territorial stats that really stand out when a team is down a man. Final third entries for the Roots are 87-28. I can't remember the last time a team had more than 50 final third entries in a game I called with you recently, let alone 87 with 30 minutes to go. That's what happens when a team goes down a man as early as El Paso did tonight. You're just compact sitting back the whole time.
So you have to find that balance, right? If you are Junior Gonzalez and understanding, yes, we are going to be a little bit more defensive-minded. We have to find that balance because you need, at a certain point, to maybe push up your line of confrontation, because if you continue to absorb this amount of pressure, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when that is going to break, because there's a lot of quality for the Oakland Roots. So you're looking at players essentially Coronado, Calvillo, and Mendez, maybe to slow the game down, take the sting out of what the Roots have been doing, and just instill a little bit of confidence for your side.
De Vicente keeps it in play. De Vicente, good find of Batash. Rubin touches it along. Quesada back for Rubin, who scored the goal, which feels like an eternity ago now, in the 3rd minute to put El Paso up in this game. Elsewhere, New Mexico finished 3-1 at home over Vegas. San Antonio up 1-0 on the road against Phoenix at the hour mark, and they're up a man. In the live table, the Roots would climb from 5th, where they started the night, into 4th. If they're able to turn this into 3 points, playing up a man, they would vault into a tie for 2nd with Orange County. As a matter of fact, would actually get past Orange County potentially with the game in hand that they have. So the Roots would be in a good position just about at the 1/3 of the way mark of the season. Game number 9 for the Roots tonight. In this 30-game season, ahead to Wilson, just beyond his reach.
Peter Wilson does just such a good job at peeling off the blind side of his individual marker. Because for a center back, it's a nightmare. You have to be aware of where the surface is coming, staying connected within your line, and also aware of the run. Peter Wilson, I think he has put in some good service from that right back position, just a little bit heavy.
Oakland readying another change. Told it'll be Danny Trejo for Faisal Batash. It's like for like in the attacking midfield. As far as where the player will set up positionally, not quite the same player profiles between Trejo and Batash, a little bit different. Trejo a bit more keen to get into the box and join the attack himself. That sub will come now.
Coming on to the field, this evening, number 99, Danny Trejo. He replaces Faisal Batash.
A little bit of a different profile here for Danny Trejo coming onto this field. He's going to stretch the game. He's going to work extremely hard right next to Peter Wilson. So now you have two vertical threats for the Oakland Roots, can change the way that they attack the remainder of this match.
Messi. McCabe over the top for Wilson, nodded back down. It's Lepley. Trejo trying to sneak it through for McCabe. Has felt like on the training ground preseason, you tell the group, okay guys, we're going at 70%, we're ramping up, it's a 70% walkthrough. That's what this has felt like, just because of how long El Paso's been down a man. The Roots could just take all their liberties with this space, and it's really a 30-yard game. It's Wilson offside. The Roots are back at the Coliseum for Hometown Heroes Night on Saturday, May 16th at 5 p.m. against Sacramento Republic, presented by Falk. Single game tickets still available. Visit OaklandRootsSC.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144 to lock in your tickets today. Changes now for El Paso to try and lock this down defensively. Gabi Torres comes off, and they will finally get that extra center back out there that we thought they might have done earlier or at halftime. Noah Dollenmeyer coming on. Armando Moreno departing as well. Some fresh legs up top for those few moments where maybe they can find something. Diego Abitia comes in. Prentice latches on. Wilson was brought down in the middle. Wanted a penalty call, and it's going to be a corner. He actually has a shout there. In a world with VAR in this league, the way the feet got tangled and he was tripped up, he had an actual shout for a possible penalty here.
That's a good run from Wolfgang Prentice. Love that first-time ball. As Peter Wilson makes that run, clearly gets drawn down by Alfaro. Having a conversation with Thomas Schneider. And again, numerous of occasions, no VAR here in USL Championship.
Corner powered by Ava Community Energy. First of the second half of the Roots. De Vicente curls it in, headed clear. Quickly taken for Tingy. Trejo in behind. Trejo shout for a handball that time. Also goes uncalled. Corner again is the result.
Ava Community Energy there once again, powering this Oakland Roots corner game. Big power, lower rates, brighter communities.
De Vicente, a good service. Trejo was there. Foul called against the Roots. It'll be a goal kick. We'll take you back to that moment. Watch center of your screen. Peter Wilson tracking to the penalty spot. Boom. He's got an elbow to the back.
The foul. When Alfaro just drops his shoulder through the back of Peter Wilson. There is an argument to be had for the striker. But we're starting to see the Oakland Roots start to find a little bit of success, especially when they play early, meaning when they start their attack higher up the field. Because in doing that, now El Paso Locomotive needs to step out of their shell. That is when gaps start to open up centrally, and you can really find areas to operate in just like this.
McCabe looking for Prentice. It's Romero. Thought he picked that up initially and then dropped it back down. It was very close. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. De Vicente. Here's Rubin. Look at a 2v6 as soon as they get the ball. Just don't have the numbers to go the other way. De Vicente, playing through the middle. Trejo nods it along.
Watch out here. Good opportunity.
Trejo through for Wilson, getting around Chumesi. Romero read it well. If he was not alert off his line, Peter Wilson might have walked that one in.
Yeah, really well done there from Romero to stay in tune with his positioning. Again, the Oakland Roots starting to really bait out El Paso Locomotive to step off of their shell so they can run in behind. If you are Junior Gonzalez, understanding that the most success that you've had defensively is when you get all 9 outfield players behind the ball.
Trejo through Wilson, was wrong-footed. And he'd been on the other leg mid-stride. He sticks that left leg up, and it's another opportunity. Florian Velo. If the Roots don't find a way here, it's a draw they'll lament. There's been a few draws that you'd consider good draws. There's different ways of looking at ties depending on how things go. Trejo. There's Tingy. Looking through for Prentice. Go back to their 2-2 at Phoenix. That's one you lament. They had a 2-0 lead. They blew it late, tied 2-2. On the road, 2-2 against Tampa Bay. That's one you're proud of. It feels like a win. Coming from behind twice against the still only remaining unbeaten team in the league. Had a 1-1 against Tulsa where it was the Roots hanging on down a man for over an hour because Hackshaw picked up a red card after he came in for an injured player. That's one you look at positively. Last game against Loudoun, you also look at positively, coming from behind in stoppage time to tie it 2-2. There's been positive draws for the Roots. This one would feel like a negative if they can't find a way. And they're struggling to find opportunities right now. Still, their only shot on target is Peter Wilson's goal in stoppage time in the first half.
eFootball's here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball's free to play. Download now.
Wilson lays it off for Trejo. Danny Trejo curling it. Left it high. Are you intrigued by El Paso trying to play out of the back on goal kicks down a man?
Just no need. Just clear your lines, put this ball as far away from your defensive goal as you possibly can, and just step up.
Danny Gomez, former member of the Oakland Roots, returning now with El Paso. He replaces Eric Calvillo. And Coral Santi replaces Robert Coronado. Coral Santi could be on his way to the World Cup with Haiti. Rosters will be coming out in the next few weeks. Represented them at the Gold Cup last year as a starter.
Substitution in the 77th minute, coming on to the field, number 12, Tyler Gibson.
Tyler Gibson for Keegan Tingy. Jackson Keel for Jesus De Vicente. The two changes from the Roots.
He replaces Jesus De Vicente.
Interested what this will do for the Roots shape-wise. Taking off De Vicente as your left back and bringing on Jackson Keel, who slots it on the top line. Below, Trejo is coming to this near sideline now. Flicked on and through for Wilson. Back toward McCabe, too long. The Roots have finally done it. I've never seen this. 104 final third entries. I have never seen that hit triple digits. Mind you, they're nowhere near done, probably, in that stat category either in this game. Because they're about to have 105. Right. I think he's got to get past that next cut of grass. All right, we'll pause for a second.
There's,
oh no! It's coming, I promise you. Player down in the midfield for El Paso is Rubio Rubin, who opened the scoring in the 3rd minute. There's this gamesmanship down a man late in the game. Right back to it though, Rubin. Lepley finds Trejo in behind. Flag stays down. It's Danny Trejo, saved by Romero. Best save of the night from either keeper.
Fantastic ball in from Lepley, and even better first touch from Danny Trejo, but this touch right there sends him far too wide. You give Romero the ability to cut down the angle to make himself big. If you can continue to run directly at the goal, now the advantage is in your favor if you are Danny Trejo. Those little minute details in the attacking phase of play that continue to lack for the Oakland Roots.
St. T through the middle, gave it away. Hackshot. Trejo. Below and line through. Oh, he went for goal. Trying to surprise Romero at the near post. Nearly did. Another Ava Community Energy corner coming for the Roots now with 10 plus stoppage remaining. Went quickly. Lepley wants it. Lepley gets it. Cutting in. Tucker Lepley. Could he save it? No. And he also crashes into the ad boards. He's new here.
Still getting used to
some slack.
Still getting used to the dimensions of the Coliseum.
Hope they don't bill him for the ad board. It'd be quite the welcome. You ever break an ad board?
Unfortunately, yes.
Here's Gomez. Spent a couple of good years with the Roots. Someone you could count on game in, game out. Quote from him, or quote about him rather, from Benny Feilhaber and Gavin Glinton in the past shared the same sentiment. Not necessarily somebody who ever rises to a 10, but you know he's never going to dip below a 6 in any given game, Gomez. Now bringing that consistency to the El Paso midfield. The likes of Mendez and Calvillo and Coronado doesn't have to be relied upon as a starter, but an outstanding player to bring in as an option off the bench. Or spot start when you need, given an injury or a congested schedule. Here's Hackshaw. Prentice. All it takes is one for the Roots. Here's Prentice.
Good ball.
Feeds it across. Toward goal and in! Welcome to Oakland, Tucker Lepley. The loanee from the Galaxy with the worldie to put the Roots on top.
This game has been asking for someone to produce a little bit of individual brilliance and some magic. Who better than Lepley making his first appearance in an Oakland Roots jersey, but just notice the ability to set up his defender. And once Dolan Mark gets caught squared, that's when he takes this long touch centrally. The ability to open up the goal, open up his hips, and just rope this thing into this top corner. patience, execution, and a little bit of a dance to give the Oakland Roots a 2-1 lead in the 84th minute.
Well, a couple of moments ago, we were joking about him breaking the ad board and getting used to the dimensions. I think he's used to them already. Needed to map it out for a second there.
Just a little bit of configuration, that's all it needed. That was needed for
Talk about a loanee paying immediate dividends for a club. There's an interesting conundrum for Ryan Martin going forward this season. Peter Wilson, Wolfgang Prentice, Danny Trejo, Florian Velo, Faisal Bataj, Bertrand Jacqueson, now Tucker Lepley. Those are all guys competing for about 3, maybe 4 spots in the starting lineup. Peter Wilson's a lock. Wolfgang Prentice, the way he's been playing, is a lock. So now that's 1 or 2 spots for 4 or 5 guys. Played through now, almost gave it right back. Rubin cutting toward it, out for a goal kick. And now you add Lepley into that mix. And from a pure talent and ability standpoint, he might be the best of the bunch with his MLS pedigree. He just wasn't quite getting minutes for the Galaxy. It's almost seeming like another lost season for them. An opportunity to go somewhere, get minutes for a whole season under his belt. And the Roots reaping the rewards in the meantime.
Left footer by Trey playing on the opposite side, so he's always going to want to come centrally to open up the field. But the technical ability and the pace behind that strike, really impressive. And expect now the El Paso Locomotive needing to chase this result, so they're going to step a little bit higher just like this, which if you are the Oakland Roots, you bypass the initial line of pressure, this game is going to open up in your favor.
It feels like there almost has to be another goal in this game, whether it's El Paso through their pressure, finding a surprising equalizer, or it's the Roots breaking that pressure and making it 3. You don't want to even this up at 10v10 if you're Trejo, who's backed out of there. Elsewhere, Phoenix down a man has leveled things against San Antonio. So the Roots for the time being in second in the Western Conference. San Antonio still with that potential point would be in first. Should the Roots hold on to this 1-goal lead, 3.5 plus stoppage remaining. From the free kick, Rubin was there. The Roots could break out. It's Trejo. The race is on. Trejo through. Prentice takes it. Wolfgang Prentice has Peter Wilson. It's Prentice going wide, deflected, and out for a corner.
Not quite sure that this initial ball from Danny Trejo was intended to go to Wolfgang Prentice. But as he cuts it off, he does a really good job at cutting into the interior of Sainty. Just a one cut too many allows the El Paso Locomotive defender just to come back across and cut this ball out.
Omar Mora replaces Alex Mendez. At Bellevue University, your success is the only thing that matters. That's why they offer education that's designed to help you achieve your next goal. Find out more at degrees.bellevue.edu/goals. Roots trying to score another goal off this corner. .114 final third entries for the Roots. That's enough for usually 3 or 4 games worth. Playing this long up a man, it's given them that chance to dominate, to set up shop in the attacking end. They've capitalized twice. Peter Wilson in the first half. Here's Velo stealing it. Split the difference though. right between Keel and Wilson. Foul against Prentice. If the Roots hold on, it's a nice checkpoint in the schedule to pick up a victory like this. After tonight, it's Brinks Cup next week against Sacramento. Then back for 2 more litmus tests in the Western Conference to round out the month of May in the regular season. Hosting Orange County, visiting Orange County, hosting Colorado Springs. For El Paso, it's another difficult one to let slip through your fingers because of a red card. It's happened already this season. It happened a couple of games ago, losing 4-1 against Tulsa. From here, El Paso has Brinks Cup, or rather has a stretch of time off. They don't play after tonight again until the 27th. Here's Rabin, trying to line it up. And that game on the 27th against AV Alta is in Brinks Cup. Something that Junior Gonzalez did mention in our conversation. They wanted to end strong here. Be it a good road draw against a good team or a victory. They wanted to take that and then this break that they have. They won't play a regular season game for 21 days after this now, El Paso. So this will sit with them for a little bit.
Fans, the fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 5 minutes.
5 minutes of stoppage time. El Paso round out May at home against Lexington in the regular season. All the while, the standings will continue to take further shape while the teams around them play in the interim, and they have their bye week. The Roots had their bye week. It came in week 2 awkwardly. So a quick stop start, or rather, still early in the season, but not week 2. It's week 4. Still early nonetheless. Hackshaw. Prentice. Right now in the live table, San Antonio 1, Orange County 2, the Roots 3. Below. Flag stays down. Can they tack on another? Romero smothers it. The Roots would have a game in hand on both Orange County and San Antonio above them. So the Roots would be in pole position in the Western Conference. They make the most of that game in hand. When has that been said about the Oakland Roots in their history in USL Championship? The answer is never. Three teams in the Western Conference with only 1 loss. San Antonio, Oakland, Sacramento. In the Eastern Conference, Hartford the only team with 1 loss. Tampa Bay the only unbeaten team. Starting to see more elite group emerge among the top teams in USL Championship. El Paso right there on the brink of that group as well. Red card set them back tonight mightily. It's back in the 18th minute. Arturo Ortiz, the guilty party. Maybe on the softer side, yes, it wasn't anything over the top. It was a slight clunk of the back of Wolfgang Prentice's heel with the knee of Ortiz. He didn't mean it. It was in stride, but it was a dog-so denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity moment as the last man for Ortiz. Velo will say thank you to a yellow card there. Better than the alternative. Would have been a 5v5.
Red card so early in this game killed the momentum. You and I had the ability to speak about it. In that first 45 minutes, it gave El Paso Locomotive a different mindset going to approach this game. Knew they were going to be under a lot of pressure. Well, the Oakland Roots are going to see a lot of the ball. So it just seemed like it was mostly trying to build and break this low block that El Paso Locomotive was going to sit in. Despite the spectacular from Lepley. Did a really good job at frustrating the Roots.
Dollenmeyer heads it along for Rubin, knotted down. Player down for the Roots is Peter Wilson in the box right now. Saint-T gave it away. Fortunately for Lepley, he made better contact on his goal than that clearance attempt. Trejo gave it right back for Sainty. Rubin. Florian Velo comes back and takes it. Trejo, a minute to go, put it right into the feet of Chumesi. Can't get it clear right now, the Roots. Chumesi centering, Trejo knocks it down, it's out for a corner.
Just no need to try to be cute there for Danny Trejo, just trying to nutmeg Chumesi. An opportunity here for El Paso Locomotive to salvage a point, looking for quality right on top of that 6-yard box when you have a lot of big bodies that can get on the end of this service.
Noah Dollenmeyer, the biggest of the bodies out there, and Abraham Romero has joined the fray as well. From the corner, Romero was lining it up. Dollenmeyer gets a piece of it. Don't punt, tried it for the volley. And it's cleared by Trejo. Peter Wilson chasing Romero step for step as well. 5 minutes of stoppage come and gone. Wilson into space for Trejo. Unless there's any extra time added, that should do it. Question is, will the Roots go for another goal here to add the exclamation point? Trejo. It's behind Rubin as he retreats. The final whistle goes. The Oakland Roots make the most of the man advantage that they had since the 18th minute, and it's the new man on loan from the LA Galaxy, Tucker Lepley, providing the winner.
Good result for the Oakland Roots. It took a little bit to get in rhythm and understanding how you can really manipulate this El Paso Locomotive low block, but this was all about the fight and all about a player stepping up and meeting the moment and providing a quality strike and Lepley to give the Oakland Roots all 3 points as they continue to push up the Western Conference.
He's the fighter of the match, presented by Modelo, or award for those with a fighting spirit. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Tucker Lepley makes his debut, scores the winning goal. It was Peter Wilson who scored his 5th goal in 3 regular season games to tie it right before halftime. And it's Ryan Martin and his group, all smiles here in this one. We'll wrap things up on the other side. Roots take it 2-1 over El Paso.
Sana, sana. Sana, sana, colita de rana.
Sana, sana, colita de rana. Si no sanas hoy,
Sanará mañana.
Learn about low to no-cost health insurance with Anthem Blue Cross, so you and your family can sana sana.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. You might not be related, but you're still family. You don't just give an extra hand. You give your whole heart and a whole lot of muscle. Because it feels good to raise up the community that raised you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Sana, sana. Sana, sana, colita de rana.
sana, sana, colita de rana. Si no sanas hoy,
Sanará mañana.
Infórmese sobre un seguro médico de bajo costo o sin costo con Anthem Blue Cross. Así usted y su familia pueden sana.
Tucker Lepley is making the rounds right now, the different phones and cameras he's got to pose for and talk to. That's what happens when you're the man of the match and you score the winner for your new club in your debut, coming over on loan just this week, as we take you through highlights of how it all went down. The distant memory of that third-minute goal by El Paso and Rubio Rubin is what kicked off the whole night.
Yeah, really well done here from El Paso Locomotive. You start on one side of the field, you end on the other, and you allow your outside back to join the attack. But as Rubio Rubin gets goal side of Michael Edwards, he has the advantage. He peels off right here as it's building up. Good ball in from Quezada, and a really nice team goal from El Paso Locomotive. And you see the frustration for the Roots and that back line as they celebrate in unison. But the game completely changed when Thomas Schneider went into his back pocket and showed Ortiz red. The left knee catches the right ankle of Wolfgang Prentice. Not intentional, but yet it's a foul. Last player back, denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. All the markings for a red card, and El Paso Locomotive down to 10 players for the remainder of this game. And Peter Wilson doing what Peter Wilson does. Much like Rubin, gets goal side to Alfaro, an acrobatic finish. Makes it look a lot easier than what it is to push it by Romero. Good ball in, and Peter Wilson does the rest. 5th on the season.
5th in 3 games it's been as well. The first couple of games he went without a goal. There was one that was actually an own goal that he thought he had. Doesn't matter now. He's got 5 that actually counted. And then in the 83rd minute, Tucker Lepley with the winner.
It's a good ball from Wolfgang Prentice, but the ability to be patient and notice when he makes his mark is when Dolan Meyer is caught flat-footed. He takes that touch right here, creates a little bit of separation, and it's a wonderful strike. Generates enough power, gets his left boot around it to that top corner. Really well taken strike to give the Roots all 3 points.
Look at the updated standings. The Roots and El Paso still attached at the hip, but now it's the Roots on top of El Paso. Coming in tonight, it was the Roots 1 spot below El Paso, and Oakland is right there at the top of the table. These teams are starting to emerge as the class of the West.
And a game in hand against Orange County and San Antonio for the Oakland Roots and El Paso Locomotive. The Western Conference extremely tight, and like you said, Joe, we're starting to see a little bit of separation from the top and the middle for the Western Conference.
Well, that's it for Week 10 in the USL Championship. It's beyond midnight on the East Coast, so to any mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your Sunday. Tonight, it's the Roots who come out on top over El Paso by a 2-1 scoreline. For the crew that makes this possible, my broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa saying so long for now. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.